an MBA admissions mentor and interview panelist, I have seen strong candidates weaken their own chances by rushing into round 1 before they were ready. And I have seen candidates talk themselves into round 2 just to be safe when they were ready months earlier and lost an advantage by waiting. So in this video, I'm going to give you my 4-question framework that I use quite often for folks that I mentor for MBA admissions. It's a strategic way to assess where you stand and choose the round that gives you the strongest shot at an admit. It's one of my paid offerings, but I'm going to give it to you for free. So make sure you watch the video till the very end and make the most of it. If you're new here, hi, I am Madhuri, an ISB alumna and your go-to person for everything MBA and GMAT. Subscribe and hit the bell icon so that you don't miss any future videos. Let's get started. Most top MBA programs run admissions in multiple rounds throughout the year. Early admission deadlines are usually somewhere around June or July. Round 1 deadlines typically fall in September or early October. Round 2 deadlines typically fall in December or January. And then some schools also run a round 3, usually in March or April. Each subsequent round becomes progressively smaller with fewer spots and more competition for those spots because most of the class has already been built by the time round 2 and round 3 roll out. That's the real reason round 1 carries an advantage. Not because admissions committees are somehow more generous in September, but because the math of available seats works in your favor earlier in the admission cycle. But as I said a few minutes ago, don't let this fact rush you into round 1 and risk a rejection. Follow my 4-question framework to help you decide which round you should be applying in. Make sure you answer these questions honestly because otherwise you'll only be fooling yourself and doing injustice to your own future. The first question is your test score where it needs to be? This is the most concrete, least emotional question, and that's why I always start here. If your GMAT or GRE score is already sitting comfortably within your target school's competitive range, this is a strong point in your favor for applying in round 1. You don't need to wait for a score that's already doing its job. But if your score is below where you want it to be, the trade-off you are weighing is applying in round 1 with a weaker score versus taking more time to retake the test and applying in round 2 with a stronger one. There's no universally correct answer here. A lot depends on how much room your score actually has for improvement and how strong the rest of your profile is to compensate in the meantime. A test score on the lower end isn't an automatic disqualifier if your work experience, your essays and your recommendations are tipping the application in your favor. But if your score is the weakest part of an otherwise strong profile and you strongly believe that a retake could move it, that extra time often pays for itself with the round 2 application. One caution here though, don't assume that a retake will definitely improve your scores significantly. Be honest about whether your last few practice tests showed real upward movement and whether you are hoping that more time alone will fix your score. Watch this video on the exact strategy that I had used to increase my score by 140 points in 2 months. Question 2 is, are your essays ready? You need to understand what ready means here. There's a difference between I know what I want to write in my essay and I can upload my essay now. Essays that are truly ready have a clear, specific narrative, a coherent story about who you are, why an MBA and why this specific school. If your current drafts still feel like they are explaining your resume rather than your reasoning, your values, your vision, they are not ready yet, no matter how many drafts you've been through. If you're confident in your story and your essays mainly need refinement and polishing, that supports applying in round 1. If you're still discovering your own narrative, still figuring out why you actually want this beyond the surface level reasons, that's a sign you might benefit from the extra months that round 2 gives you. Essays written under last minute pressure before the underlying story is clear tend to read exactly the way they were written, rushed and generic. Admission panelists see hundreds of these every cycle and that quality gap is visible to them even when it isn't fully visible to you yet. Question number 3 is, are your recommenders able to move quickly and thoughtfully? Recommendation letters are not entirely within your control. They depend on someone else's time and effort. If you have already identified strong recommenders, briefed them properly and they have the bandwidth to write a thoughtful, specific letter within your timeline, round 1 is a realistic, achievable goal. But if you are scrambling to even identify the right recommenders, or if the people you have in your mind are clearly stretched thin and likely to produce a rushed, generic letter under time pressure, that's a real constraint. A weak, generic recommendation can quietly undercut an otherwise strong application, and there's very little you can do to fix that once it's submitted. If recommender readiness is your bottleneck, that's actually one of the more legitimate reasons to lean toward round 2, because this component improves significantly with more lead time, more than almost any other part of your application. Question number 4 is, does your priority school have a pattern worth knowing? This is the question that most applicants never even think to ask, and it can shift your decision. Not every school treats round 1 and round 2 identically. Some programs admit a higher proportion of their class in round 1 and have fewer spots and often less scholarship funding left for round 2. Others run a more even split across rounds, where the round itself carries far less weight in the outcome. If you have 1 or 2 priority schools you care about the most, it's worth targetedly researching their historical admit patterns and scholarship distribution by round rather than assuming every school behaves the same way. This is also where industry-specific recruiting timelines matter, if that's relevant to you. If you're targeting consulting or other industries with structured early recruiting pipelines tied to your MBA start date, that can add a layer of urgency towards round 1 that's separate from the overall admissions decision itself. All the 4 questions together will help you make a decision, but they won't all carry equal weight for every single person. So here's how to look at the overall picture. If your score is solid and your essays and recommenders are ready, not just technically complete, but ready to submit, apply in round 1. The seat availability and scholarship advantage should not be left on the table if you are actually prepared to compete for it. If any of those 3, score, essays or recommenders, is not clearly where you need it to be, and you have good reason to believe that more time will make your overall application significantly better, round 2 is very often the stronger strategic choice, even though it feels like falling behind to a lot of applicants. A polished, well-considered round 2 application beats a rushed round 1 application in almost every case that I have seen, both in my own admissions interview experience and in the candidates that I have mentored. The one mistake you should avoid in both directions is, don't apply in round 1 purely because of social pressure or because everyone around you seems to be doing it, and don't retreat to round 2 purely out of anxiety when you're actually ready now. Both of those are emotional decisions. My 4-question framework that I just walked you through is designed to pull the emotion out of this entire decision and give you a more strategic base to make the right choice. There is no prize for applying earliest. There's only an outcome for applying with the strongest application you are capable of putting together. Then it doesn't matter whichever round it happens to be ready for. If you'd like help honestly assessing where you stand across these 4 areas for your specific schools and timeline, you can schedule a one-on-one consultation with me through the link in the description box. Tell me in the comment section which round you are leaning towards right now and what's the biggest factor pulling you in that direction. I read every single comment and I'll share my honest take on your specific situation. Like this video if it helped, share it with someone wrestling with this exact decision, and subscribe if you haven't already. Make sure you click the bell icon to be notified of future videos too. Thank you for watching.